it always seems like hoes are winning. That's because they are.
What the freak?
Have you ever looked in the mirror and thought to yourself that you were a good woman, beautiful, educated, and independent, and that any man would be lucky to date you, only to get on Instagram or social media or even hear from a friend that someone who you deem less than you, perhaps in the job field or the beauty field or the morals and ethics field, has a man who you might think you might enjoy being with, and wonder how did she find a man, how she did it, but you haven't seemed to, and thought, dang, hoes is really winning. It always seems like hoes are winning. That's because they are. I'm here today to talk about 5 reasons why hoes are winning. First, let's define a hoe. What is a hoe? Honestly, that's for you to decide. We're going to use the term ambiguously today, not in the solely promiscuous way, but a hoe could be someone that you deem as less than yourself, a woman that you think has nothing to offer but to hoe, a woman who you think actually is promiscuous and sexually deviant, a woman that you think just uses men for money, a woman that just uses men to get what she wants and then dumps them, or even a woman that doesn't seem to take men seriously in the way that you do. Let's define winning. What is winning? What is winning to you? Is it a job? Is it a romantic relationship? Is it platonic relationships? Is it career? Is it her career? Is it her attaining something that you think that you are more qualified for? Is it her attaining something that you feel like one should be qualified for in some way, in some specific way? What is it? You decide what winning is. Number 1, hoes have standards. Hoes know what they want. For example, do you have a checklist of what you want in a man? Good job, handsome, tall, whatever's on it. And have you ever had that checklist in mind and then met someone who didn't meet all of the requirements, but met enough to be almost content with, and already decided that he was or could be the one, without actually taking time to consider whether or not you actually like him? Now, most women have a checklist when it comes to what they want or are looking for in a significant other. You may be looking at the whole checklist and thinking that her desires for a man are shallow. However, whatever the requirements of her checklist may be, she sticks to them. She wants a man with money. He ain't got no money. She wants a man with his own car so he can come and scoop her and drop her off, whatever the case may be, whether she has a car or not. He ain't got no car. Or at least he better have the wherewithal to send for her in an Uber, a Lyft, a private driver. So what I'm saying is, hoes have standards that they stick to, and if a man is not meeting them, then they have no qualms, they play no games about dipping out of there. Ask yourself, with your requirements or the items on your checklist, how likely is it that you are willing to sway away from them for the sake of having somebody, or not wanting to appear too difficult? For instance, it might be a requirement for you for a guy to pay on the first date. Then you might get on the first date and he starts rambling on about how too many women are using men these days, and he doesn't pay for dates until the 5th date because a woman needs to prove herself to him that she is looking for more than a guy with a bag that's willing to spend. So all of a sudden now you're there. Oh yeah, that makes sense. And now you're going Dutch. And that is something that you really don't like doing. If you just communicated to him that he's already in control, first date, you don't even really know if you like this man. And now he knows he's in control. Now he knows it's easy to manipulate you. And he knows that you're going to change your opinion based on whatever he says. If a hoe is on a first date and she don't play about paying, and a man says to her he doesn't pay for first dates, he gonna pay for that one based on whatever she says. And it's not necessarily about having an attitude of saying, oh yes you, no. They know how to use their words to make a man want to do what they want them to do. For example, I've actually experienced this before. I was on a date with a guy. He says he doesn't pay for dates until a woman proves to him that she likes him, she's about him, so on and so forth, such things like that. Matter of fact, he might have even said he doesn't pay to take women out to eat at all. First date, I said, are you hinting at you're not paying for my meal? He said, oh yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to say. That's the point I'm trying to drive home. Okay. I said, are you pursuing a platonic or romantic relationship with me? What do you mean? Are you looking for a romantic relationship or one where we're merely just friends? Oh, well, not just friends. Why? I said, just because that doesn't really make any sense to me. My platonic guy friends pay for me when we go out, so I would at least expect that someone trying to date and be romantic with me would do the same, if not more. Continued on conversation about other things. What you think he did when that check came? Pulled out that wallet and paid for both meals. When you have your standards, stick to them. Another example of standards, sometimes when you're focusing too much on what you have to offer, it can be a distraction from what it is that you should be looking at what's being offered. For example, in the show Insecure, Molly versus Issa. Molly thinks that she's this wonderful woman, that she should have a good man. She thinks she's a good woman and that she should have a good man. She's a lawyer. She has her own apartment. She's independent. She's funny. I don't even know if she thinks she's funny. But she certainly thinks that she should have someone over Issa, who sleeps around, who doesn't have a real job, who she deems as irresponsible. But when you look closely, it makes sense that Issa, the hoe, so to speak, is more respected than Molly, the good woman, so to speak. Molly accepts really any and everything from the men she dates or is romantically involved with, versus Issa, she kind of really doesn't play. Molly was dating Dro, no standards there, because even though he was a friend, he was married, and that's not what she wants. She doesn't want to be a mistress, a side chick. She wants to be the one and only. Versus Issa, she doesn't really play games. When Nathan albeit was having a mental breakdown, she didn't give him a chance to come with excuses. She told him assertively, you should have called, you should have communicated. You can't just disappear like that. Issa has standards that she holds. When Daniel was rude and tried to downplay her, what he thought was her ability to work a real job, she checked him on it. She doesn't really accept disrespect, and Molly does, and that sometimes can be a downfall of the good woman. They don't really hold steady to their standards sometimes. Now obviously, if this does not apply to you, then I'm not speaking to you. If it don't apply, let it fly. Number 2, hoes don't try to prove to men that they're worthwhile. They know they're worthwhile. I think something else good women should be honest with themselves and ask is, when they're having conversations with men that they're dating or romantically involved with, are they subconsciously trying to appease these men, trying to prove their worth? And what I mean by that is altering your beliefs, altering how you try to come across, just altering the persona that you're showing this person. Don't try to pretend that you're okay with things that you're not okay with. If you know you're looking for a relationship and he says he's not looking for a relationship right now, he just wants to be friends with benefits, if you know you're not okay with that, don't pretend to be okay with that and then be upset later on when you think that he's acting like you guys are in a relationship but still saying that you're not. I had a conversation with a friend some time ago where she shared with me her thoughts that a guy who said he didn't want to be in a relationship was acting like he didn't want to be in a relationship, and thus if he didn't want to be in a relationship, he shouldn't have acted as though he wanted to, his actions shouldn't have been that of what she believed was someone who wanted to be in a relationship. And I said, I disagree, because he said from the beginning that he didn't want to be in a relationship. So regardless of if he acted in a way that you thought meant you guys were now in a relationship, he didn't ever say that his mind changed. And she was pretty adamant on her stance. And the way I see it is, if two friends go out to lunch, if you and I are friends and I ask you if you would like to come out to lunch for me this afternoon, if you tell me that you don't have any money to pay to go out to lunch, and I say, don't worry about it, no problem, I'll pay for you, come on out to lunch, girl. And you say, okay, you know, that works for me. I say, okay, that works for me. We go to lunch and the bill comes. I say, are you paying with cash or card? And you say, I told you I didn't have any money. You said you were okay with me still coming and that you'd pay for me. And I say, oh, well, you sitting down eating like you got money to pay for lunch. If I told you that I was okay with you coming to lunch and I was going to pay for you even though you didn't have any money, is that right of me to now say, oh, well, you sat down and ate like you had money to pay for lunch and now you expect it? I already agreed to that this was okay. Now, granted, I could say in that lunch, hey, I know I said okay, I would be okay with paying for your lunch, but maybe you don't need an appetizer and an entree and a drink. Just, I'm okay with paying for water and an entree. But when you start off trying to appease these people or appease a potential significant other, and you can get too far deep in without realizing that you're trying to prove your worth. Hoes don't do that. They're not pretending that they're okay with things that they're not okay with. Oh, you know, if they're okay with having a friends with benefits relationship, then that's what they'll do. If they know that they don't want that from this person, they're not gonna accept it. Now, there's an exception to every rule, okay? We all know somebody who the opposite can apply to. I'm not talking about them. And another way that good women can try to prove that they're worth a while to guys is rambling off about their accolades, working this wonderful job, having this many degrees, not doing that kind of thing. And it can get to a point where they're like, oh no, I don't go to strip clubs. Looking out the side of their eyes to see how he responds, to know if they should sway in one way or sway to another way to try to appeal to him. Nobody cares about your degrees. Nobody cares if you're a good girl or not. Nobody cares if you think that you're anti-slutty. Like, just be yourself. Don't try to prove your worth and change your views on things just to be more appealing, because it can come off as desperate and also not genuine. Like, women, the great myth that women have about men is that they're stupid. They're not. Simple, but not stupid. Quite smart, actually. A man can see very clearly if you're sitting at the table purposely saying things that you think he's gonna like. And then again, he knows he can control you. And then again, he knows you're going to change your mind and your views and how you speak when he says. And then there's no respect. Number 3, hoes know what they want from a man. Whether it's money, sex, or a relationship. They know if a guy asks for their number, if they find themselves in a position to where they're going out consistently with someone, they know what they want from them. Do they want him to pay a couple bills? Do they want him to just pay for their food? Do they just want to have sex with him? Or do they want a relationship with him? They know. They're not letting him decide. They know what they want from him. Point blank, period. Sometimes good women don't know what they want from a man and just move based on how he moves. Oh, he doesn't want to be in a relationship. He wants to be friends with benefits. Okay. He wants to be in a relationship, but not the kind that I really find ideal. Okay. Oh, I guess we're in a relationship because he said so. What do you want? Do you even, if you really think about it, do you even really want to be in one? Or is you just happy that someone wants to be in one? Like, what, you gotta know what it is you want from this specific person. Money, sex, relationship, whatever it is, you just gotta know what it is that you want. Number 4, hoes make sure they actually like a guy before pursuing him. Now, I know somebody's gonna comment something crazy like, oh, you're supposed to. What do you mean you don't try to impress a guy? Don't take it all the way to 100. Don't take it all the way to 100. Obviously, when you go on a date with somebody, you're gonna look presentable. Hair done, makeup done, cute outfit, whatever it is that is appealing in your world, you're gonna make yourself look presentable. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying, oh, don't try to impress a man. I'm not saying don't try to impress a man, like, oh, wear sweatpants and no makeup and hair tie. No, I'm not saying that. Dress to the tens, whatever that may be for you. But I'm saying women can kiss a man's ass before they even stop to think if they really like him, before they even analyze the situation and actually are honest with themselves and think, do they like this man? Do they find him worth pursuing? Some good women can overly try to impress a man that they don't even like, really. They don't even stop to think if they like him. Or just try to impress him because he's the first guy that treats them decently, the first guy to do the things that they think that a guy should do, when in reality they may not even really like him. When you first start dating someone, take time and ask yourself, do you really like this person? What do you like about him? What don't you like about him? Take some time and think and really analyze if you like this person or not. And number 5, hoes are confident. There's been research in the field of psychology which found that confidence does not correlate with accuracy. However, I think that confidence is convincing. And let me ask you this. If you think that you're a beautiful, good-looking woman, have you ever seen, based on looks alone, have you ever seen a woman that you felt like was less attractive than you, getting a lot of play, getting a lot of male attention, and you just couldn't figure out why? Do you present as a confident woman? Does she? You might find your answer in the answer to that question. Confidence is convincing. If a woman, you could take a butt ugly woman. Nobody's really ugly, but a woman that you think is butt ugly, take her, let her dress, let her dress what she thinks looks good. And if she's strutting, not overdoing it, but if she's strutting with confidence, guaranteed guys are gonna go after her before they go after the bad bitch who is walking with her head down. And when I say go after, I mean with consistency. A man finds a bad bitch with low self-esteem, he doesn't treat her the same way he would treat a woman that she might think is ugly with confidence. Confidence goes a long way. Confidence is convincing. Okay? Somebody can come into a business and have no skill. But if they're a people person and they can convince people through their confidence that they can get the job done, guaranteed they'll go further in the company than somebody who from the start was better and more qualified than them, but too scared to say anything about it. Confidence. Be confident. Because when someone is confident, not arrogant, when someone is confident, you have no choice really but to respect them. Confidence isn't overly desperate. Confidence isn't trying to prove itself. Confidence just is. So, the same mirror that I asked if you ever look in and think to yourself that you're a good woman and you deserve the world, a good man, I want you to go back to that mirror and ask yourself, do you treat men like you're lucky to have them, or like they're lucky to have you? I might do a part 2. Comment below what you think, if you agree, if you disagree. Share, like, comment, subscribe, share, follow me on Instagram, and thanks for tuning in.
Caring too much is such a juvenile fancy.